I don't remember falling to my knees. One moment I was staring at the spiral carved into the concrete. The next, the basement tilted sideways, and the world folded in on itself like a collapsing lung. Ben shouted my name. Maya grabbed my shoulders, but their voices sounded far away, muffled, like I was underwater. Because the house wasn't whispering anymore. It was showing me things, memories, not mine. Not entirely. But they lived inside me all the same. I was 8 again, standing in my childhood bedroom. The wallpaper was blue with little white stars. The nightlight glowed faintly in the corner, and the whisper came from behind the wall. "Alex, are you awake?" I remembered freezing. I remembered pulling the blanket to my chin. I remembered whispering back, even though I knew I shouldn't. "Who are you?" A pause, a soft scrape, like fingernails dragging across wood. "I'm your friend." I never told my parents. I never told anyone. But the house remembered. Because the voice wasn't coming from my childhood home. It was coming from this house. The Harrowick house. The same cadence, the same tone, the same hungry warmth. It had spoken to me decades before I ever stepped foot inside it. The vision shifted. I was older, maybe 10, sitting at the kitchen table drawing in a notebook. My mother stood at the stove, humming softly. My father read the newspaper, and I was drawing the spiral over and over, page after page, perfectly, effortlessly. My mother leaned over my shoulder. "Alex, sweetheart, what is that?" I didn't look up. I didn't stop drawing. It's what the house showed me. My father lowered the paper. "What house?" I didn't answer, because I didn't know. Not then, but the house knew. It had been inside me for years, waiting. The vision darkened. I was 12, standing in the hallway outside my bedroom. The whisper was louder now. Not a voice, but a chorus. 100 overlapping murmurs, all saying the same thing. "Come back." I remember screaming. I remember my parents rushing out of their room. I remember collapsing in their arms. And then, nothing. A blank space in my memory. A hole. A night erased. Until now. The house filled it in. I saw myself standing in front of the Harrowick house at 12 years old, in the middle of the night, barefoot, shivering. The front door opened for me. I stepped inside, and the house whispered, "I'll wait for you." The vision snapped away like a rubber band. I gasped, choking on air, collapsing forward onto my hands. The concrete was cold beneath my palms, but the spiral radiated heat, a slow, pulsing warmth, like a heartbeat. Ben grabbed my arm. "Alex, Alex, talk to me." Maya knelt beside me, her voice trembling. "What did you see?" I looked up at them, and for the first time, I didn't feel afraid of the house. I felt connected to it. "I've been here before," I whispered. Ben blinked. "What?" "When I was a kid, I came here. I don't remember how, but the house called me." Maya shook her head. "Alex, that's impossible. You lived 3 states away." "I know," I said, "but I was here." The basement groaned, a deep resonant sound that vibrated through the floor. The spiral pulsed again, and the whisper rose from the concrete. "You never left." Ben backed away. "Nope, nope. I'm done. We're leaving. I don't care if the door's locked. We'll break a window, we'll—" The house answered him. The basement door slammed shut, hard. The bulb overhead flickered violently, then went out. Darkness swallowed us whole. Maya grabbed my hand. "Alex, what does it want?" I listened, not with my ears, with the part of me the house had carved open. "It wants me to remember," I whispered. A breath, warm, damp, human, brushed the back of my neck, and the house spoke again. "And then, it wants you to finish what you started." Darkness swallowed us whole, not the kind of darkness you get when a light goes out. This was thicker, heavier, like the dark had weight, like it was pressing against my skin, trying to seep into my pores. Ben cursed under his breath, his voice cracking. "Alex, where are you? Maya, grab my hand." "I'm right here," she whispered, but her voice sounded wrong, stretched thin, like the darkness was pulling at the edges of it. I didn't speak, because I wasn't sure my voice would sound like mine anymore. The house was inside my head, and I was inside its memory. The spiral pulsed again, a faint reddish glow rising from the carved grooves in the concrete. It wasn't bright enough to illuminate the room, but it was enough to show the outline of the circle, and something else. A shadow, not cast by us, not cast by anything in the room. A tall, thin silhouette standing just outside the spiral, watching, waiting, breathing. Ben saw it too. "Oh, hell no. Nope. Nope. Alex, what is that? What the hell is that?" Maya's voice trembled. It's not moving." But it was. Not in the way a person moves, not step by step. It shifted, like smoke, like a thought, like it was deciding what shape it wanted to be. The glow from the spiral brightened, revealing more of the basement. The walls, the shelves, the stains, and the shadow stretched across the floor toward me. Not toward Ben, not toward Maya, toward me. Because the house wasn't interested in them. It wanted me. The shadow stopped at the edge of the spiral. It couldn't cross it. Not yet. But it didn't need to. Because the house spoke through it. Not with words, not with whispers, with memory. Images slammed into my mind. Fast, violent, disjointed. A family screaming, a door slamming shut, hands clawing at the walls, blood dripping from the ceiling, a child's voice crying out for help, a spiral carved into the floor with shaking hands, a promise whispered in the dark. "You'll come back for us." I staggered backward, clutching my head. "Stop! Stop! Stop!" Maya grabbed my arm. Alex, what's happening?" Ben backed away from the shadow, flashlight shaking in his hand. "We need to get out of here. We need to..." The house answered him. The walls groaned, a deep resonant sound like bones shifting under pressure. Dust rained from the ceiling. The shelves rattled, the floor vibrated, and then a door slammed upstairs, then another. One by one, every door in the house slammed shut, except the basement door. It creaked open, slowly, invitingly. Ben's voice cracked. "It wants us to go upstairs." "No," I whispered. "It wants me to." The shadow pulsed, a ripple of darkness that spread across the floor like a wave, and the house spoke again. This time, the voice wasn't a whisper. It was a chorus. Hundreds of voices layered together, men, women, children, all saying the same thing. "Finish what you started." Maya's grip tightened. "Alex, what did you start?" I shook my head. "I don't know." But I did. Somewhere deep inside, beneath the fear, beneath the confusion, beneath the years of forgetting, I knew. The house had called me here for a reason, not to haunt me, not to hurt me, to complete something I began as a child, something I didn't remember, something the house refused to let me forget. The spiral glowed brighter, casting long, jagged shadows across the walls. The shadow figure stepped closer to the edge of the circle, and for the first time, I saw its face. Not clearly, not fully, just the outline. The suggestion of features, a hollow where eyes should be, a mouth that wasn't a mouth, a shape that wasn't human, but had once tried to be. Ben screamed. Maya gasped. I didn't move, because I recognized it, not from the house, not from the basement, from my dreams, from my childhood, from the night I forgot. The shadow leaned forward, its voice sliding into my mind like a knife. You promised. I didn't want to remember, but the house didn't care what I wanted. The moment the shadow whispered, "You promised," something inside me cracked open, a seam splitting down the middle of my mind, letting the past bleed through. I staggered backward, clutching my head. Ben grabbed my arm. Maya called my name. But their voices were distant, muffled, like they were speaking through thick glass, because I wasn't in the basement anymore. I was 12 years old again, standing outside the Heroic house, barefoot, shivering, alone. The memory unfolded with perfect clarity, not like a dream, but like a recording the house had kept safe for decades. I saw myself walking down a dirt road under a moonless sky. My pajamas were thin, my feet were bleeding from stepping on rocks. But I didn't stop. I didn't even blink. Something was guiding me, pulling me, calling me. The same whisper I'd heard behind the walls of my childhood home. Come back. I followed it without question. Because children don't question the things that speak to them in the dark. They just obey. I reached the Heroic house just before dawn. The front door opened on its own, slow, silent, like it had been waiting for me. I stepped inside. The air was warm, comforting, alive. The house whispered, "You're home." I didn't feel afraid. I felt safe, like I belonged there, like I had always belonged there. The memory shifted. I was standing in the living room, the same room where the gouges marked the mantel, where the dust lay thick on the floor. But it wasn't abandoned then. It was full of voices, full of whispers, full of children, not visible, not fully, but present. Their shapes flickered in the corners of my vision, like shadows trying to remember how to be bodies. They circled me, whispering in overlapping tones. Help us. Stay with us. Finish it. I didn't understand. I was 12. I just nodded, and the house whispered, "Promise." And I said, "I promise." The memory darkened. I saw myself kneeling on the basement floor, a small knife in my hand, my fingers trembling. The spiral wasn't carved by the Heroic parents. It wasn't carved by a cult. It wasn't carved by something supernatural. It was carved by children, by the ones the house had taken, and by me. I watched my 12-year-old self drag the blade across the concrete, carving the spiral stroke by stroke. Tears streaming down my face, not from fear, from devotion. The children whispered instructions. The house hummed with approval. The air pulsed with warmth. And when I finished, the house whispered, "You will return." And I whispered back, "I will." The vision snapped away. I collapsed onto the basement floor, gasping for air, my hands shaking violently. Ben knelt beside me. Alex, talk to us." Maya grabbed my shoulders. "What did you see? What happened?" I looked up at them, and for the first time, I understood everything. "I made the spiral," I whispered. Ben blinked. "What?" "When I was 12, I came here. I carved it. I promised the house I'd come back." Maya's face went pale. "Alex, why would you do that?" I shook my head. "I didn't know what I was doing. The house. It got inside my head. It used me." The shadow figure stepped closer to the edge of the spiral, its form sharpening, its presence growing heavier. The house spoke through it again. "You kept your promise." The basement door slammed shut above us. The bulb flickered back to life, dim, sickly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Ben backed away. "Alec, what does it want now?" I swallowed hard, because I knew. "It wants me to finish what I started." The shadow leaned forward, its hollow face inches from mine, and the house whispered, "It's time." The shadow didn't move. It didn't have to. The house moved for it. The basement walls groaned, the sound deep and resonant, like the entire structure was shifting its weight. Dust rained from the ceiling. The spiral pulsed beneath me, heat radiating through the concrete like a heartbeat. Ben pressed himself against the wall, shaking. "Alex, we need to go. We need to go right now." Maya grabbed my arm. "Alex, listen to me. Whatever this thing wants, whatever it thinks you owe, it's lying. You don't owe it anything." But she was wrong. I did owe it something, because I had made a promise, and the house never forgot a promise. The shadow leaned forward, its hollow face inches from mine. The darkness around it rippled like water disturbed by a breath. "You belong to us." The words weren't spoken aloud. They were pressed into my mind, heavy and cold. Ben shouted, "Alex, move!" He grabbed my shoulder and yanked me backward. The shadow reacted instantly. The basement floor buckled, concrete cracking like thin ice. A jagged fissure tore across the spiral, splitting it in half. A gust of hot damp air blasted upward, carrying the smell of earth and rot. Maya screamed. Ben stumbled. I fell to my knees. The house roared. Not a sound, a vibration, a pulse, a living thing waking up. The basement door at the top of the stairs slammed shut again, harder this time. The bulb overhead flickered violently, then steadied into a sickly, pulsing glow. Ben ran to the stairs and slammed his shoulder into the door. "It's locked! It's fucking locked!" Maya grabbed the railing. "Try again." He did, again, and again. The door didn't budge. The house wasn't letting us leave. The shadow slid closer to the broken spiral, its form stretching, thinning, reshaping itself like smoke caught in a draft. Maya whispered, "Alex, it's reacting to you. It's following you." I knew. I could feel it. The house wasn't angry. It wasn't vengeful. It was claiming what it believed was already its. Me. The shadow's form rippled, and suddenly the basement filled with whispers, hundreds of them, overlapping, rising and falling like a tide. Children, adults, voices I didn't recognize, voices I did. "You promised. You left us. Finish it. Stay." Ben covered his ears. "Make it stop! Make it stop!" Maya's flashlight flickered, then died. "Alex, what did you start? What did you do?" I shook my head. "I don't know. I don't remember everything." But the house did. The shadow extended a long, thin arm toward me, its fingers stretching, splitting, branching like roots searching for soil. The concrete beneath me cracked again. A deep, wet sound echoed from below. Something was moving under the floor. Something big. Something alive. The shadow's voice pressed into my skull. "You carved the path." You opened the door. Now finish it." The basement floor bulged upward, concrete rising like a bubble under heat. A dark stain spread across it, thick and oily. Ben screamed, "Alex, run!" But I couldn't. My legs wouldn't move. The house held me in place. The shadow reached the edge of the broken spiral, its form sharpened, solidifying into something almost human. Almost. Maya grabbed my face, forcing me to look at her. "Alex, listen to me. You're not a kid anymore. You don't have to do what it wants." But the house whispered, "Yes, he does." The floor split open. A rush of hot, fetid air blasted upward, carrying the stench of decay and something older, something that had been buried for decades. Ben stumbled backward, tripping over a rusted toolbox. "What is that?" Maya pulled me away from the fissure, but the house fought her, pulling me forward with invisible hands. The shadow stepped into the broken spiral, and the house spoke through it with a voice that shook the walls. "We kept our promise. Now keep yours." The fissure widened. Something began to rise from the darkness below. Not a creature, not a ghost, a memory. A memory made flesh. And it was coming for me. The thing rising from the fissure wasn't a creature. Not in the way animals or people are creatures. It was a shape. A memory given form. A wound the house had never allowed to heal. The air grew hotter as it climbed upward, thick and humid like the breath of something enormous. The concrete around the fissure glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with the house's heartbeat. Ben stumbled backward, tripping over a toolbox. "Alex, Alex, what the hell is that?" Maya grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. "Alex, don't look at it. Don't!" But I couldn't look away, because I recognized it. Not from the house, not from the basement, not from the night I carved the spiral. From the dreams, the ones I'd had for years, the ones I'd forgotten until now. The shape rose higher, its form shifting like smoke trapped in a jar, limbs stretched and retracted, faces flickered across its surface, children, adults, strangers, and then my own, a distorted version of me. Younger, eyes hollow, mouth open in a silent scream. Ben screamed. Maya gasped. I didn't move, because the house wasn't showing me a monster. It was showing me the truth. The shape solidified, its edges sharpening into something almost human. It hovered above the fissure, suspended by nothing, its form trembling like it was struggling to hold itself together. The voices rose again, hundreds of whispers layered into a single suffocating chorus. "We are the ones you left. We are the ones you promised. We are the ones you forgot." Maya shook her head violently. No, Alex, this isn't real. This is some kind of hallucination. The air down here, the mold. It's real," I whispered, because I could feel it. The connection, the bond. The house wasn't haunted by ghosts. It was haunted by memories. Memories of the people it had taken. Memories of the children who had whispered through the walls. Memories of the night I came here as a child and carved the spiral that opened the door. The shape drifted closer, its form rippling like liquid shadow. When it spoke, its voice was layered, my voice, the children's voices, the deeper voice beneath them all. "You opened the way." Ben backed into the wall, shaking uncontrollably. "Alex, tell it to stop. Tell it to leave us alone." But the house didn't want him. It wanted me. The fissure widened, concrete crumbling away like wet sand. The heat intensified, sweat dripping down my face. The shape hovered above the spiral, its form pulsing with each beat of the house's heart. Maya whispered, "Alex, what did the spiral do?" I swallowed hard. "It wasn't a symbol," I said. "It was a door." Ben's voice cracked. "A door to what?" The shape answered for me. To us. The basement shook violently, tools rattling on the walls, dust pouring from the ceiling. The fissure glowed brighter, revealing glimpses of something below. Dark, shifting shapes, dozens of them, maybe hundreds, all moving in unison. Not bodies, not spirits, memories, living memories. The house had kept them alive, preserved them, fed them, and now it wanted me to join them. The shape extended an arm, long, thin, branching like roots. It reached toward me, its fingers splitting into smaller tendrils that writhed in the air. Maya pulled me back. "Alex, run!" Ben grabbed my other arm. "We're getting out of here, now!" But the house fought them. The floor shifted beneath us, tilting toward the fissure. The air thickened, pressing against my chest. The shadows stretched across the floor, wrapping around my ankles like hands. The shape's voice filled the basement. "You promised. You belong to us. Finish what you started." The tendrils brushed my skin, cold, wet, familiar. A memory. A memory of the night I carved the spiral. A memory of the children whispering instructions. A memory of the house guiding my hand. I felt myself slipping. Not physically, but mentally. The house was pulling me back into the promise, back into the spiral, back into the memory. Maya screamed my name. Ben pulled harder, but the house whispered, "Let go." And for a moment, a terrifying, perfect moment, I almost did. The tendrils wrapped around my ankles before I even realized they'd moved, cold, wet, alive. They pulsed with a slow rhythm, like veins carrying blood. The moment they touched me, a shock ran up my legs, sharp, electric, familiar. The house was claiming me. Ben lunged forward, grabbing my arm. "Alex, Alex, don't let it pull you in." Maya grabbed the other. "Fight it. You have to fight it." But the house whispered, "Don't fight." And for a terrifying moment, I didn't want to. The warmth rising from the fissure felt like a memory, like the comfort of childhood blankets, like the soft hum of a lullaby, like the voice that whispered to me when I was 8. The voice that told me I wasn't alone. The voice that told me I was special. The voice that told me I belonged to something bigger. Something older, something hungry. The tendrils tightened, pulling me toward the fissure. My heels scraped across the concrete, leaving faint streaks of dust. Ben and Maya dug their heels in, pulling with everything they had. "Alex, stay with us!" Maya shouted, her voice cracking. Ben gritted his teeth. "You're not going anywhere. Not tonight." But the house didn't care about their strength. It cared about mine. The shadow figure stepped closer, its form sharpening into something almost human. Its face flickered, my face, then a child's, then a stranger's, then nothing at all. It reached out a hand, not to grab me, to welcome me. "Come home." The words slid into my mind like warm oil, soothing and suffocating all at once. I felt myself leaning forward, not physically, mentally, emotionally. The house wasn't dragging me, it was inviting me. And part of me wanted to accept. Do you want to know what happens next? If so, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because it really helps out the channel. If you want the next part of the story, comment next part in the comments. We have new stories releasing every day, so until then, haunt you later.